The sun descended, bathing the forest in warm hues as I approached Buddha. Burdened by regret I couldn't release, I bowed before him, sensing his serene presence. He acknowledged me with a gentle nod, his eyes filled with compassion. "Master," I began, my voice trembling. "Regret weighs on me like a stone. I cannot move past my mistakes." Buddha's gaze held steady, inviting me to unburden my heart. "Tell me," he said softly, "what is it you regret?" I hesitated, tears brimming in my eyes. I failed my friend in their hour of need. I betrayed trust. Buddha listened without interruption, his expression neither condemning nor indifferent, a space of acceptance that calmed my racing heart. "Regret," he began, "is born from attachment to the past. The mind clings to what cannot be changed, causing pain." His words felt like rain upon parched earth, yet the pain within me refused to dissipate. "But I cannot forget," Buddha continued with unwavering patience. "Forgetting is not the goal. Awareness is. Through awareness, regret transforms into wisdom and intentional action." I frowned, uncertain. How can wisdom arise from regret? My mistakes feel irredeemable, and I am consumed by shame. He extended his hand toward a nearby stream, its waters flowing gently. "Observe the stream. Does it cling to its path?" I shook my head, puzzled. "No, it flows freely, adapting to the stones and bends, finding its way to the vast ocean." Buddha smiled faintly. "Regret is like a stone in the stream. It disrupts the flow, but the water finds its way." His metaphor began to seep into my understanding, though the weight in my heart persisted. "Yet, Master, the stone remains." "True," he said, "but the stone does not define the water. Likewise, your actions do not define your being." His words challenged the narrative I had built around my identity and shame. "Then how do I reconcile my past?" Buddha gestured to the forest. "Every tree here has weathered storms, lost branches, yet it continues to grow, reaching for light. Growth," he explained, "arises from acceptance of what is, not clinging to what was. Regret should guide, not imprison." I felt the faintest glimmer of hope, though it was tenuous. "But what of those I've harmed? How do I atone?" "By planting seeds of kindness," Buddha said. "Your past cannot be altered, but your present actions can sow healing." I clenched my hands, thinking of those I wronged. What if they reject my efforts? What if reconciliation is impossible? He regarded me deeply, his voice steady and warm. "Compassion begins within. Forgiving yourself is the first act of reconciliation." My breath caught in my throat. Forgive myself? How can I, when my mistakes are so grievous? Buddha pointed to a bird tending its wounded wing nearby. Even in pain, it does not abandon itself. It nurtures healing. The image touched me deeply, yet doubts lingered. But isn't self-forgiveness selfish when I've caused harm to others? He shook his head. Self-forgiveness is not absolution. It is the foundation of transformation and the capacity to create positive change. I sat in silence, grappling with his profound insights. As the forest filled with the quiet sounds of evening, "Master," I ventured after a pause, "how do I begin this journey toward healing and liberation from regret?" Buddha closed his eyes briefly, then spoke. "Begin with mindfulness. Observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, understanding their impermanence." He placed a leaf in my hand. Like this leaf, each thought arises and falls. Clinging to it only prolongs suffering. I turned the leaf over, feeling its fragility, imagining my regret as something impermanent, no matter how deeply ingrained. "Master," I asked tentatively, "what if regret resurfaces, as it often does? How do I remain free from its grip?" He tilted his head slightly. "When it resurfaces, welcome it as a visitor, not a master. Acknowledge it, then gently release it." The simplicity of his guidance belied the inner struggle I anticipated. Is it truly possible to live without being haunted? Buddha's voice carried quiet conviction. Living without regret does not mean erasing it. It means transforming it into compassion and mindful action. My heart began to feel lighter, though the journey ahead seemed daunting. But how do I sustain this path, Master? Through practice, he replied. Meditation, self-reflection, and acts of kindness cultivate the inner strength to transcend regret's hold. His words resonated, though the path still felt overwhelming. I fear my resolve will falter. What then, Master? He smiled softly. Compassion includes patience with yourself. Even faltering is part of the path. Each step is valuable. As the moon rose, casting silver light over the forest, I felt a sense of calm I had long forgotten. Buddha's presence seemed to magnify the stillness around us, an invitation to embrace the present moment fully. Master, I said finally, your words have opened a door I didn't know existed. I will strive to walk through it. He inclined his head, his expression serene. The door has always been within you. You have the strength to enter. I bowed deeply, my heart a mosaic of pain, hope, and newfound understanding. The path to release had begun. I felt the truth of his words ripple through me, their resonance touching the core of my being. Release, he instructed, is not an act of force but an opening of the hand, a surrender to the present moment. My companions, he began gently. Regret binds us to shadows of the past, preventing us from fully embracing the light of now. His words reverberated, striking a chord among us. I reflected on the weight of mistakes etched into my memory. Buddha gestured to the earth. Each step forward is made upon soil, rich with the essence of what we leave behind. A disciple, Lakshmi, raised her voice hesitantly. Master, I struggle to move forward when my past choices feel like chains that hold me captive. Buddha met her gaze, compassion lighting his expression. The past is but an echo, a story told by the mind, lacking the vitality of now. Lakshmi frowned, her voice trembling. But Master, when those echoes carry sorrow, how can we listen without being overwhelmed? He reached for a handful of earth, letting it fall gently between his fingers. Sorrow is soil where seeds of change grow. Lakshmi appeared puzzled, her brow furrowed. How can sorrow be fertile? It feels barren, like I will forever be trapped within its weight. The weight you carry, Buddha explained, is not the sorrow itself, but your resistance to accepting it as part of life's flow. Lakshmi's shoulders relaxed, though her uncertainty lingered. How do I accept pain without becoming consumed by it? Master? Buddha gestured to the nearby stream. See how the water flows freely, embracing every stone, every obstacle, yet losing none of its essence. The image stayed with me, calming my restless thoughts. I wondered if my own regrets could be carried like flowing water. A disciple, Chandra, spoke hesitantly. Master, my regrets rise from opportunities missed. Doors I failed to open haunt me with constant doubt. Buddha nodded. A missed opportunity is like a flower unopened. Its time has passed, but its essence nourishes what blooms next. Chandra's voice cracked. But Master, what of the lives I could have touched? My inaction feels like a stain upon my spirit. Buddha placed his hand lightly upon Chandra's shoulder. What you see as a stain is but a mark to remind you of life's preciousness. The grove grew still as Buddha's words sank into us, reflections swirling silently among us. Yet hesitant to find release, Buddha broke the silence. The present moment is the gateway to liberation from regret. It holds boundless potential untouched by shadows. I struggled to grasp his meaning. Master, how can the present outweigh the past's hold? The past feels insistent in its power. The past, he said simply, is but a shadow cast by the light of now. Stand in the light, and shadows dissolve. The truth resonated faintly within. though doubt lingered as firmly as ever. Master, how do I find this light when regret blinds me? Buddha smiled, unfazed by my uncertainty. The light is already within you. Focus not on regret's shadow but on the brightness of intention. I closed my eyes, searching for the elusive light he spoke of, yet struggling against the familiar darkness of my thoughts. Another disciple, Priya, posed her question. Master, does the present truly hold power over the past? Is the past not part of who we are? Indeed, Buddha affirmed, the past shapes us, but it does not define us. The present moment reveals who we choose to be. Priya nodded, her hands resting upon her knees. But Master, choosing who we are now feels daunting when regret clouds that choice. Buddha gestured toward the sun, its rays piercing through the dense canopy above. Let sunlight be your guide. Seek clarity, not perfection. I looked upward, allowing the golden light to touch my face, sensing Buddha's teachings beyond words. As a gentle awakening, Master, Priya ventured further. How can we act in the present without fear of future regret? Her question stirred my own apprehensions. Fear of future regret, Buddha said, comes from attachment to outcomes. Act with mindfulness, freed from craving or aversion, and regret will cease. Lakshmi spoke again, encouraged. Master, I feel my understanding growing. Yet the journey ahead seems steep and uncertain. How do we endure? Buddha pointed to a bird nearby, perched upon a fragile branch. Do you see how it trusts the branch yet prepares for flight? The bird's quiet resolve mirrored the teachings Buddha imparted, grounding us in the present while allowing hope to soar within. Lakshmi's face softened. Master, your words offer peace. But how do we find strength to integrate these lessons deeply into our lives? Buddha reached for a bowl of water, setting it before us. Meditation stills the ripples of the mind, revealing clarity within. I looked upon the still water, imagining how turbulence transforms into calm when treated with care. The metaphor invited me inward. Another disciple, Ramesh, asked tentatively, Master, meditation feels elusive to me, like catching smoke. How do we quiet a restless mind? Buddha spoke gently. The restless mind is like a child seeking attention. Meet it with patience and kindness, and it will settle. His wisdom reached us like sunlight warming barren land. Even as doubts persisted, we sensed the beginning of transformation. Master, I said finally, your teachings invite hope into places where regret has long dwelled. The path ahead feels less daunting now. Buddha inclined his head. May each moment carry your steps forward. Regret may visit, but let it be a guest, not a master. I bowed deeply, gratitude filling my heart as the banyan tree's canopy swayed gently above us, cradling our quiet resolve. Another day, another moment of wisdom unfolded as I sat among disciples. The air filled with stillness and expectation. Buddha stood before us, his voice calm yet profound. Regret is a burden carried, yet its weight is not fixed. His gaze swept over us, landing on a merchant named Sanjaya. Tell me, Buddha said gently, what weighs your heart today? Sanjaya bowed low, his face etched with sorrow. Blessed One, I caused harm through greed. Now I live with unending guilt. Buddha nodded, his eyes kind and unjudging. Guilt is a mirror reflecting past actions. What you see depends on how you perceive. Sanjaya's voice cracked. But Master, how do I see clearly when shame clouds my vision, and regret feels endless? Buddha gestured toward a dense forest. In darkness, a single lamp brings light. In regret, a single act of kindness does the same. Sanjaya frowned, his brow furrowed with uncertainty. How can one act erase the harm I caused, and the pain I've inflicted? No act erases the past, Buddha said, but a kind deed can plant seeds for a future untouched by past mistakes. Sanjaya seemed to wrestle with Buddha's words, But what if I cannot undo the suffering I caused? Or seek forgiveness directly? Buddha's tone remained steady. Not all harm can be mended directly. But transformation arises when intention turns toward healing and compassion. His words rippled through the grove, touching hearts weighed by their own unspoken regrets, inspiring silent reflection among us all. A farmer named Deepak spoke hesitantly. Master, regret often blinds me to the present moment. It feels like a thief stealing my peace. Buddha turned to Deepak, his expression serene. The thief is not regret itself, but your attachment to the story it tells. Deepak looked down, confusion flickering in his eyes. What story, Master? It feels more like a shadow I cannot escape. Every shadow, Buddha said, is cast by light. Look beyond the shadow, and you will find its source. Deepak's confusion softened as a glimmer of understanding took root. But how do I turn from the shadow toward the light? Buddha picked up a pebble and placed it in Deepak's hand. Observe the pebble. It is solid, yet it does not control you. Deepak turned the pebble in his palm, his thoughts visibly racing. But Master, my regret feels much heavier than this stone. It feels heavier, Buddha said, because your mind carries it everywhere. Release it, and its weight will lessen. Deepak gazed at the pebble, then placed it upon the earth. Master, is it truly possible to lay down the weight of regret? Regret's weight diminishes, Buddha explained, when we stop clinging to it. Acceptance lightens the load, opening space for compassion. I listened intently, my own heart resonating with the struggles shared, feeling the faint stirrings of liberation within the stillness. Another disciple, Arjun, spoke with deep hesitation. Master, I regret words spoken in anger, which cannot be taken back. They haunt me endlessly. Buddha's gaze was gentle, his voice steady. Words, like arrows, cannot return, but you can tend to the wounds they caused. Arjun's eyes filled with sorrow. What if the wounds cannot be healed? Or the one harmed refuses to accept my efforts? Buddha paused, his silence a profound presence. Not all wounds heal immediately. Your intention to heal is a beginning, a spark of light. Arjun appeared unconvinced. But if forgiveness is withheld, how can I find peace or free myself from the burden of regret? Forgiveness offered by others, Buddha said, is a gift, not a guarantee. Your peace lies in self-forgiveness and mindful actions moving forward. The words settled over us like soft rain, gently nourishing our reflections on our own burdens and the paths to healing. A fisherwoman named Mira spoke suddenly. Master, regret feels like a storm within me, relentless and consuming. How do I find calm? Buddha smiled faintly. A storm cannot be controlled, but it passes. Stillness is found within, even as the winds rage. Mira's expression remained clouded with doubt. But Master, the storm feels endless. How do I endure when there seems no relief? Endurance, Buddha said, is cultivated through mindfulness. By observing the storm without resistance, its power diminishes over time. Mira bowed her head, her hands trembling. And when the storm returns, Master, will I not be swept away again? Each storm, Buddha replied, teaches resilience. The more you observe, the less you are moved. Stillness grows stronger with practice. The grove grew silent once more, our collective breath steadying as we absorb the wisdom woven through Buddha's teachings. Buddha stood and gestured toward a tree bearing fruit. This tree has endured storms, yet it offers nourishment without hesitation. What sustains it, he continued, is not the absence of struggle, but its rootedness and openness to the present. The image of the tree lingered in my mind, its lessons resonating deeply. Growth thrives, I thought, even through adversity. A merchant named Kavya spoke timidly. Master, I regret missed opportunities to show kindness. The moments I ignored haunt me deeply. Buddha regarded her with calm understanding. Missed kindnesses are like seeds unplanted. Yet the soil of now remains fertile for new growth. Kavya's voice wavered. But Master, can acts of kindness now truly atone for the love and care I failed to offer before? Buddha nodded slowly. Atonement is not erasure. It is transformation. Each act of kindness now enriches the world despite past omissions. Kavya bowed low, her tears reflecting both sorrow and a newfound resolve to plant seeds of compassion in her daily life. Buddha turned to us all, his voice resonating with quiet strength. Let regret be your teacher, not your master. Let it guide, not imprison. I felt a shift within me, a loosening of chains I had carried, though the journey toward freedom still stretched ahead. Buddha spoke once more, his tone unwavering. Action, not regret, defines you. Each moment holds the power to shape what is to come. As the day softened into evening, I bowed deeply, gratitude and determination filling the space where despair had once dwelled. The burden of permanence no longer weighed me down. The Buddha's words echoed in my mind. Peace is not a treasure to be kept, but a garden to be tended. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.